ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Everybody was internet fighting. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. They was fast as the internet. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Which is currently going to be throttled by the FCC. Ba-da-da-da-doo. Ha! Oh, internet, what's up? How's it going, everybody? How you doing? What a lovely, lovely Thursday. Trying out the 4K today. We're trying out 4K. Well, 2K, I believe, is the best that the YouTubes will let us do. We're trying it out, and we shall see how it goes. High CPU usage detected. All right. So far, high CPU usage detected. So we'll see how it goes, you guys. I know yesterday we were super late, so we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how this goes. I bet you it's gonna lag. It's probably gonna have some problems because I can see it already. I can see it already doing it. It's already freaking out. Hold on a minute here. Let me see if I can change this a little bit. Let's check the resolution. Oh, I can't change the resolution while we're streaming. So we just got to go with what we got. We'll see what's happening. All right, let's check out who is... Let's double check and we'll see who's first to the chat. Frank Dominguez, first one of the chat today. Right on, my man. That is awesome. Frank Dominguez, people are asking how's the attic feeling. Hopefully it's not too cold up there. I know I've been doing some work up there myself, and has been pretty cold. It is pretty cold up in the attic because, as you guys know, we haven't got the insulation up there yet. But overall, the upstairs area actually is pretty acclimatized, so that's not too bad. Mary Shrek is here in the chat. Sarah Konopko, Gabe W. Let's see, Mellow Moogle is here. Charlie List, Kyle Paith, which I do need to fix his last name. I think I inverted it. I think I spelled it backwards. I think I put the E and the A the wrong direction, and that was on my to-do list today, and I didn't get it done. Sorry, but I did fix a bunch of other stuff. So hopefully we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how it gets done. If it looks like I'm doing something weird with my hands, because Mr. Chips is down here feeling needy today, so he's sitting in my lap, and I'm giving him some petting because he's my buddy. Are you my buddy, Mr. Duty? Are you my buddy? Yeah, he's my buddy. He's a good boy. Excuse me. So hopefully, let's see here. I'm positioned a little weird. Let me reposition myself. There we go. Let's see. Let me say hi to a few other people here. Jim Meeker's in the chat, long timer. Wushu Jimmy Brown, how you doing? Good to see you. Chris versus Fish is here. Candy Overhauls, Nisi, Steven Skoglund. Oh, well, it looks like all of the moderators all showing up all at the same time. We like that. We like it when they all start showing up like it's a secrets. Like we got secret surprises. Do we have secret surprises? I don't know. But let me catch up on the chat here a little bit. Aquarium Coop is here. What's up, Corey? How you doing? I don't know if I mentioned it on the show yesterday, but it is in the chat there. Congratulations on your verification. Congrats on your verification and the 100,000 subscribers. Is that my goal? I think obviously 100,000 is a goal, but as Corey and I talked about it, the goal is 100,000 million. So let me see. Oh, okay. We got a notification of unsupported resolution for latency configuration. You need to change the video resolution, the current resolution. So I need to change it. Oh, hold on a second. What happened? I guess it still seems like it's live, even though it's mad at me right now. So it's still live. All right. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens here. It looks like YouTube is mad at me. But either way, you know, sometimes YouTube gets mad, and then, but it still is, it's still broadcasting. So, seems like it'll work fine either way. It's going to crush my CPU, and we'll see what happens. But that's not a big deal because tomorrow I'll be up north, and so if this computer catches on fire during today's show, not too bad because we'll still be here tomorrow, and I'll have the weekend to figure out what to do. Right? So that's not the worst thing that could possibly happen if it does catch on fire, because we'll still be able to do the show and all that stuff. I think some people noticed from the community post there is a new shrimp back here. That is actually going to Stephen Tuttle. Hopefully he's in the chat today. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. That is a shrimp that's going to be for Stephen. All right, buddy. Hey. I don't know why. Dogs are barking like crazy today. There's a lot of action going on outside today, so sorry about that. There's not much I can do. I can't mute the Biddy Brown, so there's not much I can do about that. So I can't make it better. I can't make the dog be quiet except by yelling at her. So my apologies. I just have to yell at her that everything's fine and that I'm here, that she'll be okay. If you guys noticed from the title of the show today, this is a question I've been getting fairly often recently, I think because of the holiday season coming up, whether you like Hanukkah or New Year's or Christmas or any of that. All right, I got to figure this out. Hold on. There actually was a guy. Hot update, there actually was a guy out there with a bunch of boxes. So the dog was actually barking for a reason. So looks like none of that's for me. So I can't open any of those. And I bet you if it was any boxes coming for me, they'd be for Victoria. So I couldn't open them on the live stream anyhow, because then she'd know what she was getting for Christmas. And I don't want to like show you guys these big boxes of coal that I've ordered, you know, because it's just like, you're like, hey, what's that, coal? I'm like, yeah, that's coal. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, sorry about that. The delivery guy likes to deliver and ring the doorbell, which freaks out the dog. There's just nothing about that. There's just nothing I can do about that dog not freaking out. So that just kind of the fun of a live show. It's actually live, and that's what kind of makes it fun. Let's see. I noticed Steven Skoglund was posting today about his wisdom teeth. As we know a lot of people that have gone through their wisdom teeth. Mr. Corey got his taken out a little while ago, and I've got one that's suspect. that they want me to do elective surgery on, but I've opted for a different route because mine are all grown in straight. I have a problem with this one over here, and so let's see. The higher the number, the worse it is. So last time I was in there, they gave it a 7. Or the previous time was a 7, then it's a 6, now it's a 5, and so it's doing better. I basically something got stuck in between the last tooth and my wisdom tooth, I guess, and so I had a problem there, but it's getting better. So we're gonna see how it goes, and we're gonna basically see what's going on. Steven just got he just got the deep cleaning done today. Oh, the periodontal cleaning. Yes, I got that. I got that a couple years ago, and that's brutal. They were like, we could do a quarter of your mouth at a time, and you can keep coming back in. And I was like, no, do the whole thing. And they're like, what? We don't normally do the whole thing. I was like, I'm not coming back here next week for more of this. So we just ended up doing the whole thing. So shout out to Steven, one of our big time supporters, one of our big time Patreon supporters, and the show, and comes on the chat every day. And so hopefully that tooth situation gets cleared up real quick. I can relate a little bit. So I can relate a little bit to what's going on over there. Just a quick reminder to those of you out there like me who like eating Christmas candy like a maniac. Just remember to flush. I guess if you mix brush and floss together, you end up with flush, right? Brush and floss, floss and brush. Floss and brush and floss. And chew on toothpicks constantly. Apparently that helps. I don't know. But I'm always chewing on toothpicks. And then people go like, that looks like it's dangerous. You're going to swallow it. And I said, well, someday, maybe. Maybe that'll be my demise. I'll be doing wind sprints up and down hills and swallow a toothpick and die. Maybe, but I hope not. Let's see. Oh, we're up to 78, 80 concurrent viewers. I wonder, did anybody share this out today? Did anybody share the stream out? Maybe you didn't share the stream out today, but hopefully everybody gets super excited because, as I said, we'll have 2 guests tomorrow. It'll be Corey and I doing the Corvus version of the Real Fish Talk. Hopefully you guys are getting excited for the Real Fish Talk. I'm going to be driving up and back and up and back. And we're going to keep working on that studio up there, which is a lot of what's going on right now. As you guys know, I'm always busy doing all sorts of stuff. And as I said, I wanted to work on some Christmas ideas. Well, I want to be all-inclusive of everybody. Maybe you have Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, or you're just like winter solstice people. Maybe you're like totally into the winter solstice, and you're like, yeah, that's what I'm celebrating. Kudos to everybody, but this is the time of year where everybody's trying to buy some presents and stuff like that. I would encourage you to go over to darkstararts.com if you're going to order a bunch of stuff from Amazon. There's an Amazon banner at the top. You can click through there, and if you're going to go buy a bunch of Christmas presents, it basically just says, we sent you to Amazon, and it just kudoses it. It just gives us the kudos and stuff like that. Let's see. Lane was asking, will that video be on the podcast? I love that show. Listen to it every day at work. Let's see. Well, most of the shows, yes, end up on the podcast but I don't know if we've been doing it. I don't know if we've been doing it from. We haven't been doing it from my channel, so maybe we'll look into that. Maybe we'll look into doing something along those lines. I don't know. I guess the one on my channel, that's a good point that we haven't been doing that. So maybe it'll be a weekend project for me or something. I don't know. I'm pretty busy, but that wasn't all of today's stuff. But as you guys know, I've been rewiring my house. I've been working on paintings that I got to get out for Christmas and stuff like that. Some people were saying hey, how about aquatic art for Christmas? And yeah, I'm sure if you could get it from somebody, most people like myself are super booked up right now. You know, so you could probably get next year's Christmas stuff booked. Which, unless you want something that I already have made that's not exactly shrimp made or you know, pre-made or not necessarily aquarium stuff. I have a bunch of paintings that aren't aquarium related or whatever, but it's something you could do. Dan Squires says there's a robotic glass cleaner on Kickstarter for only 200 pounds. So, yeah, that's like 300 American, or what, 280, 275 American, something like that. Totally affordable. I would put that in the not affordable category, but I have some categories here, and we'll run through some of that stuff as we get through. Those of you from yesterday, we do have a callback from yesterday. My video segment was awful. And so I have a little bit of a better segment. Hey, man! There's some other delivery person here. I can hear him. Who is it? Mr. Chips, go bite him. Go bite their faces. That's fine. Would you go tell your girlfriend to be quiet? I tried to get Mr. Chips to go tell Biddy to be quiet, and so he's just going to come up on my lap. Come on, bud. Yeah. And if anybody's never seen Mr. Duty, this is Mr. Chips, my best bud, and Miss Biddy Brown is my second best bud, but she's always barking. Biddy, come here. Hey. So, well, either way, at least everybody gets to say hi to Mr. Chips, which is good, right? Okay. So, let's see. Lane says I would also buy Hank Hill paintings. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing Hank Hill paintings because that's a copywritten. Anything that's copywritten, I can't necessarily just make a painting. Well, I could make a painting of it and just give it away to somebody, but I certainly couldn't sell a painting of something that's copywritten, right? So I would bear that in mind if anybody is going to contact me for any future art projects or any of that kind of stuff. I would keep that in mind, that if you do want me to paint something that is copywritten, unless you know the copyright holder, let's see, I can't remember who made King of the Hill. Was that Matt Groening? No. That was, oh, it's right there. It's right on the tip of my brain. What's his name? Mike Judge. Mike Judge. I don't have his phone number, so I can't call him to see if it's cool or not. Let's see, Bracken says, I made the girlfriend get me a calendar from Jadron Aquatics, although my photo was corrupt, so not included in this year's, sadly. Aw. Yeah, that would be a good gift. The Fish Fam, what's the word? The Fish Fam calendar. That would be a good one. Let's see here. Try to catch up with the chat a little bit. Oh, Susan for SLC Aquatics is here, and Mary Beth Mabe. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Joel, what return pump would you recommend for a 220-gallon tank with dual overflows? One internal, two internal, one external. Thoughts? I will be doing some coverage on some water pumps, but that's a ways down the road, so I will give you the quick answer. If you look up the Jibao DC internal pump, those are currently my favorite pumps, mainly because they're a DC converted. You know, they convert from the plug. They convert from the plug from alternating current to direct current to DC. And So they use a lot less wattage. Realistically, they just use less energy over time. They're more efficient, and they're really quite reliable. I've been using them for quite a while on a 220 like that. So on my 240, I think I'm using the Jibao DC60. I think. Let me see. Jibao. Oh, I was gonna say. It's not a 60, it's a 6,000. So I think at one point in time they had less zeros on there. The 12,000 is pretty big and would also work, but the 3,000 is a little too small. But that's what I would do, is I would run it a 220 like that with one internal Jibao DC pump instead of the AC pump. And then I would just split it off. I would just split it into two. The lines back up to the pump, or up to the tank, and then that's how I would run it personally. It's most kind of like most efficient way to do it, kind of cheapest way to do it over time, and they've been working out really well for me. Aquaman has a question. Got a reef question for you. What type of dry rock would you recommend for a beginning reefer? Tank would be soft coral, zoanthid, dominant tank. Would love to hear your tips and advice. Oh man, if this is the first time, if this is your first time setting up a reef tank, I would almost always recommend starting out with dry rock and then seeding it with some small pieces of live rock and let it just grow in. Let the tank grow in. You can get bulk. You can get bulk rock in big boxes shipped to you from like Bulk Reef Supply, and there's a lot of places that carry it. I would just look for the best price out there, and then so if you get dry rock, one of the cool things about dry rock, and if your tank isn't set up yet, you can take a lot of time to build these really cool rock structures, and you know, it might take you. It might take you to a it might take you like a month. It might take a couple of weeks or something like that. But before before it's filled and flooded and stuff like that, if you get a bunch of dry rock like that, you'll be able to glue it, fuse it, drill it, do anything that you need to do to build some really cool rockscapes. That's what I would do, especially if you're a beginner. It's a good time to learn how to break the rocks, stack them up, do all that kind of stuff. I know there's always local stores normally carry it for a lot cheaper, especially if you're going to buy a bunch and you just go like, hey, look, I need like 80 pounds or whatever, depending on the size of your tank. Donnie Hill with the follow-up question, yeah, the Jibao 6,000. I got confused with all the numbers being thrown around. Yes, the 6,000 or the 12,000. Those are the two sizes of the Jibao pump that you'd be looking for. And I forget who asked that question off the top of my head. Let's see. Aquaman was saying, so if you're going dry rock, I would start out that way and then start building some really crazy big structures, make some crazy bridges, do all that cool stuff that you can't really do with live stuff. You just really can't. It's just, I mean, it's certainly possible. I wish I had like 2 reef tanks and then I could just build stuff and move them back and forth and stuff like that. But with how big my tank is and stuff like that, I wasn't able to set that up ahead of time, and I really should have. I regret not doing that. Let's see. Don't forget to click through the Amazon banner. Oh, yeah, Steven. That's right. Don't forget to click through the Amazon banner. It's a big holiday season. It's time. Morgan Newbie. My girlfriend got me some guppies for stocking stuffers. She had to give them to me early so they don't dry out. Yeah. Oh, Vicky Tori is in the chat. What's up, babe? How you doing? Good to see you. And she's asking if I keep the fish keeper, am I a fish keeper? Yes. That would imply that you're keeping me, though. Or are you tending to me like a doggy? All right. So let's jump into what I've got written down here. All right. So from my list, starting out The first thing that I wrote down was I wouldn't recommend to give anything live. Morgan was talking about his or her girlfriend, not sure, got some guppies for stocking stuffers. I wouldn't recommend to get anything live for anybody. Now, and here's the reason, is that even if you do have a intimate knowledge of their aquariums and what their setups are, you might accidentally buy a fish that may or may not be with their long-term plan. A perfect example from my own screw-up would be me getting the killifish and putting them in the 240. There's nothing wrong with that, except for my long-term plans for the 240 were different than those killifish. So I'm actually setting up that 60-gallon cube where the killies are going to go. That's where they're going to be from here on out. So, you know, that's from just something recently that happened to me, is that I wouldn't necessarily buy anything live, because you could be really changing the long-term plan of whoever you are buying said fish for. You also could run into the problem that, you know, especially, you know, with the timeline and everything going on, that you could end up with a real problem, you know, adapting the fish, or maybe they don't have a tank that would be ready for that fish or shrimp or any of that kind of stuff. But there is a way around that, which if you went to places like Live Aquaria or Flip Aquatics comes to mind, you could actually get you could either pre-purchase with a gift card or something like that, or you could even put a pre-purchase in ahead of time and sort of reserve, like if you were going to get shrimp or something like that. That's why Flip Aquatics came to mind, is that you could go like, hey, look, I want to reserve 20 of these or something, and have them sent out at like a later date, so that you could like let them know what they were going to get, and maybe not have like a box sitting out on the back porch or the garage or something with something that's just been shipped. And also, it will give you an opportunity to verify if that's really what you want to do, is buy something like that live. Like I said, I currently ran into my own situation where I went like, I've always wanted these fish. I needed to get these fish. We were in Portland at the time, and it was like, now's the time to buy them, because they were actually there. They were in really good health. They were paired up, all that kind of stuff. So I ended up grabbing them. And so the other thing that I have at the top of the list, so nothing live I wouldn't recommend, is gift cards. Now, oftentimes people go like, gift cards are a terrible idea, and they kind of, it's like, oh, it doesn't feel personal, or this or that or the other thing. But you know, I got a gift card recently from the Fish Fam. I don't know who sent it, but it said it was from the Fish Fam, and that was highly appreciated. It was like, oh, cool, $25. That totally helps out buy some of the fish care stuff that I need, and I almost always Amazon stuff. So that was great for me, because I was like, I'm gonna buy stuff from Amazon. That totally helps out. Like, that buys me, you know, whatever kind of little maintenance stuff that I need in the meantime, and I super appreciate it. If there was a real gift that I wanted for Christmas, I want to get to 200 patronizers. That's where I want to get. That's why I got my fingers crossed. That's why I got my 4K running today. So I'm hoping to get to. I'm trying my best to constantly remind people to get to the Patreon and like throw $1 on there. Like, it doesn't need to be. We have some really generous patronizers, which are highly appreciated. I'm just trying to get past the 200 people mark, so I don't know how to motivate them or whatnot. But if somebody really wanted to get me that, or you guys could always go to the Patreon and go to the Amazon list, and just go ahead and click on the Canon 1DX that's on there. Make sure that your credit card is nice and good, and just send that over. I mean, it's only like $6,000 or something like that. CJ Black asked the husband for a $100 aquarium co-op gift card. I would definitely recommend an aquarium co-op gift card, if that Like if you're looking for like plants and fertilizer and all that kind of cool stuff, I would definitely get an Aquarium Co-op gift card for people, because you could order up plants like any time of year or any of that kind of cool stuff that you need. And Corey always has like good sales and stuff like going on. Like I know that I saw somebody posted earlier today that they got their free T-shirt with their Easy Green fertilizer, which is dope because you're like, you need to order fertilizer if you need to, and then boom, you get to be extra warm, right? Let's see here. Let's see. Barbara Jackson. My father-in-law did not like the gift cards. He'd say, for the same price, you could have given cash that I can use anywhere. We still give him gift cards, though. I think the people that like don't like the getting a gift card are the people that got like a $5 gift card to Home Depot or something, and they're like, I don't ever go to Home Depot, you know. And you're like, and $5? What is this? I think it's always kind of just the amount, but you know, if like CJ was talking about like $100 gift card to Aquarium Co-op, like that would be like a super cool gift card to get. Kevin Keener says, I wish I had an extra $6,000. I'd do it just to see what the appreciation face would look like. I would almost say, I was going to say that like I almost would like crap my pants, but I'd probably puke if somebody sent me a Canon 1DX. I would probably I'd probably puke. If somebody sent me that camera, I would freak out, realistically. But did anybody see this shrimp over here? It's in 2K, not 4K, but 2K. Let's see. I happen to have needed a new bottle of Easy Green just after the shirt deal started. It was awesome. Loved your shirt. Oh, that is cool. That is dope. Let's see here. Where did it go? 54 Punchy. When I got home from work last night, I watched show's rerun. There were 3 ads. Oh, well. I don't know. Download ad block, I guess. I don't know. Everything's kind of been automated on the upload here, so I haven't been manually doing much. So I'll figure that out. Miss Punchy. Oh, 2K Shrimpses. We like it. All right, so the next part that I have on my list here was, so there's a long list of things that we all use almost on a regular basis, and one of those things would be maybe you use Prime, or maybe you use Safe, or maybe you use some other kind of dechlorinator. This is one that I would never turn away. Like if you gave me a bottle of Prime, I would just say thanks. You know, if you try to buy, filtration for people, like filter pads or any of that kind of stuff, you'd run into a real larger opportunity to miss the mark, and then be like, here's the wrong filter pads or something, right? But with things like Prime and Safe and stuff like that, I mean, if you bought me a 5-gallon bucket of Prime or Safe, either way, I would just be like, dude, awesome. Like that's cool. I will always be able to use that. I will always be able to use that like forever. And I think that would be something that would go across all boundaries, whether you have a reef or a planted tank or a cichlid tank or anything along those lines, any kind of aquarium, Safe and Prime, those would be the ones, or any other kind of dechlorinator, like maybe you're way into one of the other brands, which I don't see a reason why. But the issue is that if you were to buy something like Melafix, for instance, right, somebody might never use it. Somebody might never use it, and then you just have a bottle of chemicals, which I will say, I have collected lots and lots and lots of bottles of chemicals over the years from people that are just like unopened. You know, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm selling off my stuff from my garage," and half of it is like a bunch of bottles of like unopened chemicals and stuff like that. So that's a thing that I would avoid. And then along the same lines here, I would say that water test kits would come in super handy. If somebody has a reef tank in your life, you really can't go wrong with water test kits, because they're at some point in time going to test for just about everything. My favorite reef test kits is the Red Sea. They have a real big line of awesome test kits. Those are my favorite ones for reefs. And I think API is the freshwater one that I like. I would stay away from the test strips just because of operator error typically, and cost. So if you get real used to using strips, it just ends up costing more. In my experience, I've just found that it costs more money and stuff like that, and people have a tendency to like dunk them in there too long and get a weird reading, even the ones that work really good or work really well. Oftentimes it's just kind of people error, whereas like I find counting drops way easier. So water testing kits and or primer safe dechlorinator, that kind of stuff is wildly helpful to everybody. And then I would stay away from filtration, filter pads, or you know, any of that kind of stuff, unless you have like a real intimate knowledge of the inner workings of all of their equipment and stuff like that. Woo. Gotta take a breath there for a second. I just realized I was talking a lot. Did you guys ever think that the sound of silence is majestic? You guys can't even hear Mr. Chips. He's down here sleeping. It must not be a very exciting show if the dog is sleeping through it, right? Hey, buddy. Woke him up. CL Roman was asking, how do YouTubers get paid when people have YouTube Red? Here is the crux of the situation. A lot of people know that my long-term goal was to get rid of the ads. But what I had to do is turn on the minimal ad thing, right? I had to turn on the minimal ad thing in order to make sure that I still qualified for YouTube Red, because a lot of the people that watch my show are actually YouTube Red subscribers. And you know, so if there was two pieces of advice I had out there, if you guys hate commercials like me, as I would just sign up either for YouTube Red or get ad block, even though I don't know what ad block is, or I'm saying to get ad block, right? That would be kind of my advice at this point, because we are currently in stage 3 of the adpocalypse. If no one's heard about the adpocalypse, there's a whole lot of inner workings going on with the robots trying to figure out who's cool on YouTube and who's not cool on YouTube. So if that would be kind of my recommendation right now to everybody out there, is I had to turn on the minimal ad thing. Otherwise, I got devalued from everything, and essentially all the videos just get thrown in the corner, and then they go, don't watch those because it's all turned off. So that's kind of the thing. Aquarium Co-op's had YouTube Red for 3 months now. I love it for downloading YouTube on planes. Oh, that is one of the really the cool added things to YouTube, and to YouTube Red is you can listen to stuff without the screen on your phone on, so you can actually listen to shows like this, or you could download them and listen to them later. So that might be the one issue that was being asked about earlier, that if this would be or the show from tomorrow with Corey and I on it would be uploaded to the podcast or not. But that would be one way to simplify, would just be to sign up for YouTube Red. I'm a YouTuber, but I don't really, I'm not like endorsing YouTube Red. It just seems like a useful tool. So, Fishhead 2925, the sound of silence is glorious, but I have really bad tinnitus ringing in my ears, so I never get peace and quiet. Oh well. wear ear protection, friends. Fishhead 2925. I'm just gonna be. Apparently, I'm just gonna be recognizing with everybody in the chat their physical ailments. I also have pretty bad tinnitus that rings in my ears most days, and I think we were talking about it the other day that I play music through my Bluetooth. I almost have something playing in the background all of the time because of that, because I can always just hear this ringing all the time. There isn't much that I could do about it. A lot of it comes from working around heavy machinery or being a chef for years and years and years. You stand under the hoods and everything is just banging and clanging and banging and clanging all day, all day, all night, all night. So that's where mine was from, and there isn't any way to wear ear protection in the kitchen. So if you can wear ear protection, it's very important. So I would yeah, I can relate to that too. But Vicky was asking me at one point in time, she's like, "You're always listening to something." It's like that's why. Is because I always hear ringing and stuff. Although I do love being up at up in the mountains and stuff, and there just is no sound up there. I can hear it like legit. Like when it's super quiet and we're like up in the mountains somewhere and there's just like no noise anywhere. It's like I can just hear it like ka-ding! Like all day and all night. But I do like I love being up there in the quiet. It's kind of cool. But it almost always makes me wonder like people that actually hear actual silence. I always wonder what that I always wonder what that's like. Let's see here. Boop, 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 doo, 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 doo. H1N1 killed the hearing in one of my ears, and while the nerve was dying, I had tinnitus for a few weeks. It was awful. Really feel with for people who deal with it long term. Oh, that sucks that you fully lost the hearing in one ear. But I guess you don't have the tinnitus now, so maybe that's the upside. I guess if you only have one ear hearing left, then that's probably disorienting to like figure out which direction you're going. CL Roman says it's $9.99 for YouTube Red. Anyone bought any new fish recently? I got 6 green tiger barbs and 3 angels today. They're awesome, cool. That is awesome, Dan. Congratulations. That's badass. Glad to hear that. I haven't gotten any new fish. That's probably reserving that for the new year, because I have so many projects going on right now that I want to get all that stuff handled to a certain degree, and then be able to start introducing new fish and stuff like that later on after the new year, because I already have a bunch of tanks running, so it's like, don't need to do it right now. And plus, I need to clear out space in the 240, and I need to sell off the rest of the red shrimp, the cherry shrimps, out of the 150 before I go turning that into a crystal shrimp tank again. And then I'll constantly get people on the internet going, "This crazy guy has a crystal shrimp tank, 150-gallon crystal shrimp tank," and then people will be like, "Hey, whoa! He toned it down from a 240 to a 150-gallon crystal shrimp tank." So, I mean, is that good? I don't know, but I'm gonna end up getting a lot of comments again from the old internet that's like, "Hey man, like, it's unbelievable that you have such a big tank with shrimp in it. I don't understand you." And I'll be like, "Hey bro, I don't understand you either. So, is it good? I guess that makes it all right, right?" Ooh, what's this? What happened? We got a notification here. Oh, the fish nerd's back. He's pledging again. Jason Mance and Susan from SLC Aquatics. Oh, thank you very much, you guys. Patronizers. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Jim Meeker's asking, the 240 is a single beta tank now, isn't it? No, the 240 is actually going to be my community tank moving forward. So we're going to do some a big school of Galaxy Rasboras. Then I'm going to focus on making sure I have a lot of Apistogramas in there. The Apistograma colony will slowly get added to also, and the bristlenose plecos and stuff like that. So that's essentially going to be my community stocking, basically, is what we're going to get to, I guess, community-wise. Let's see. How far am I from 200? We're at 154, actually. You got to hit the refresh on there. You guys got to hit the refresh because we got 3 new ones. We got 3 new ones during the show. So, we're actually up to $840, which means we're about halfway to the next goal, which is to do the show as the Doctor. If you guys think I gotta go get the Doctor, I gotta put him into makeup. He's a real weird looking dude. He has requests for orthotics, which I believe are defeat things, you know, and all that stuff. So we're about halfway to that goal to get the Doctor to come on here and do a whole hour-long live stream. And speaking of the Patreon, I do want to address to people out there that there has been there's been a lot of talk about Patreon changing their charging system. And I want you guys all to know it has reverted back to the previous setting. They didn't change it. They didn't change it at all. Basically, all the creators basically complained and said, "What are you doing? Do not do this. Not cool. Not cool. Not cool." And so they said, "Oh, okay, never mind." So the service charges and all that stuff will fall back on me, and your guys' standard pledge will be whatever your standard pledge is. So if you say, if you're like Steven Skoglund and you patronize $44.65, his charge will be $44.65, and I'll pay the processing fee. So hopefully that all makes sense, and the intrigue was fixed from there. And because Patreon decided to just get cool, you know what I'm saying? So all that talk about them changing their system and stuff, don't worry, it's gone back. They're going back to figuring something else. They're going to figure it out. They're going to try and figure something out. Magic 21 Mom with the $1 super chisel with the super cheese. $1 super cheese. Well, thank you very much. I've never seen Magic 21 Mom before. Who is that? Dan Squires still has to pay a £2 entertainment services tax in the UK. Can you get them to sort that out too? No, actually, but I do pay into all of the tax surcharges from all of the countries, like the Netherlands. Netherlands has a what's it called, like a VoIP charge or something like that. I forget what it's called, but I think that's what. No, I don't know. Whatever it's called gets paid back into that fund from the patronage. So, all right. So, all right. Back to our Christmas ideas and things. Is that somebody was saying like, oh man, what about like some water changing equipment and stuff like that? I would say no. Now, I think everyone out there would appreciate like a new Python or some new hose or some new interesting things along those lines. Like, but what I've seen happen over the years a little bit, is that people end up getting the wrong thing for their water changes and stuff like that. I do know that. So, for instance, like if somebody went out and bought me like a 100-foot Python,
I don't ever use pythons. I never do. And long term, I don't have any plans to even be using the system that I have now. So that realistically would be a problem because it would eventually just be garbage or be donated or something along those lines. Most of them are made out of plastic, so I would say just on the environmental side that it's probably not a good idea to buy something that somebody wouldn't end up using and is like not biodegradable or whatever. So, you know, that's not like what most people are thinking about, but I would remind you that if you do get some water changing device or something like that, you might end up with the wrong one. You might end up having to return it. But like 54 Punchy saying, I would love a Python. I do buckets on 11 tanks now. But I've seen in the past, I've gotten a lot of, I've received a ton of water changing things from people that, over the years, they're just like, yeah, it was over there. It's got a bunch of dust all over it and stuff like that. I realistically, very rarely do I ever use vinyl piping for anything anymore. So even somebody like me that you'd think like, well, he could use a big roll of vinyl hose. I don't really even use vinyl hose all that much anymore. So that kind of stuff, that's something I would definitely stay away from. But here's something that I would definitely buy for just about anybody out there, and that's hardscape stuff. I don't really think that you could go wrong with hardscape stuff. So when I say hardscape things, you could always buy super awesome substrate. Let's say somebody, let's say they don't even have a planted tank. Let's say that they have like a cichlid tank or something, right? And you notice that they're substrate's kind of fugly and their rocks are kind of nasty, right? And you're like, I don't know, bro. Maybe it's time to take SpongeBob and the pink gravel out of your aquarium. And you're like, you could buy a bunch of sticks and rocks for them right there, Carson. Buying rocks and sticks. Yes. Even for like a cichlid tank, you could buy some really cool rocks. You could buy some really cool substrate. It's not going to go bad because it's not alive or perishable or anything along those lines. And that would always go fantastically. Maybe you know somebody who has a planted aquarium and you're like, I know those guys like Sierra stones, right? Because the planted guys all like those stones. You're like, hey, I could just order a 10-pound box of this stuff and just drop it off on them. And anybody would be super zazzed to get that. Or like the dragon stone that I put in the 240, if you were to order some of that, everyone would love that. It's not going to go bad. You could always just ship it straight to them. So maybe you got a buddy in Montana or something like that you're like, oh man, I'll just ship it straight to them. Boom. Done. That would always be cool because it's not non-perishable or anything like that, and that's fantastic. I think, you know, any kind of box of driftwood, you could always come up with some really cool purchases of driftwood and things along those lines and send that out to people. And like I said, that's not perishable. More often than not, it's been fully dried and kiln baked or something along those lines, so it's not going to go bad. And so driftwood would always be cool. I would just be sure to get some measurements of their tank ahead of time and make sure you at least buy it big enough for their aquarium. It's definitely got to be bigger. Oh, am I shipping Dragonstone to Montana now? As far as I know, I'm not. Although I do know you can find Dragonstone out on the ground in Montana. In certain areas. Maybe yeah, maybe no. I don't know. But for those of you that were only here for the video segment, I got to make sure we go over to the video segment because I've been yammering on here for quite a while. I'm going to make sure we go to the video segment here so we can take a look at what I got planted yesterday. And of course, it started in the middle again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. We'll fix that. We'll start it over. So I actually got them planted in the mermaid weed from yesterday. Actually got them planted in the 240, and this is a little bit better shot. I do have to admit, I want my 80D back. It is up at Corey's house, and I'm probably going to give it a hug when I see it tomorrow, because my old cameras make me sad. They really do. My old cameras make me sad. Do 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 do. But yeah, so I'm happy to have got those plants in there. A little bit better shot, but I do really want my camera back. I need it. It's not that anybody stole it. I just forgot it at Corey's house like a dork with my right next with my notepad up there too. Apparently Schwisky Vision might find some funky pictures on there. Feel free to take video and pictures with it, Jimmy, and you feel free to play with it all you like. It's virtually unbreakable, honestly. Yeah, my Canon 80 letter D is up at the coop. Apparently Jimmy's gonna give it a ride around the building, and take some pictures of stuff. Oh, did I take my battery? I did. I took my battery with me. Although I have 4 of them right here. 3, 4, 5. Take these batteries. I got lots of batteries. I'm ready to go. So I guess I'll be good. But either way, I want my camera back, but at least this is some suitable footage, so you guys can see what was going on in the 240 after I got the mermaid weed in there. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, as far as possible Christmas holiday gifts and stuff like that, would be... Oh, Candy Overall says, you know there is a Christmas sale. But either way, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was lights, filters, essential equipment and stuff like that. This is going to be fairly difficult for most non-fish keepers and stuff like that. This is where something like an Amazon list or a wish list, like an Amazon wish list or something along those lines, will really help people out, because they might end up getting the wrong LED or getting the wrong size or getting the wrong brand or getting the wrong length or any of that kind of stuff. I have seen on many occasions people get the wrong equipment. So the weird thing would be that 54 Punchy, I got her name right, but I screwed up Kyle Paith's name. I know. I mentioned it earlier, Kyle, that you messaged me yesterday. I'm sorry that I got that backwards. I have to redo the whole video. So just to change that letter, I have to redo the whole video. So I will do that. Trust me. It was on my list to do today. It's like, what's on my list today? A bunch of stuff on the whiteboard. But this is where what's the word? It does get a little bit weird when you're buying lights or filters for somebody to make sure that you get the right ones. But that's where like a wish list or something like that would come in really handy. I think that even if you'd asked Vicky like 6 months ago what kind of lights I wanted, she wouldn't know. And she's around here all the time. We're always talking about fish stuff or something like that. But she probably wouldn't even have known which lights to get. And I don't even know if the Fluval 2.0s were out then, but so it really would have been it really would have been difficult for somebody like Vicky to even get me lights, because she probably wouldn't even have known what to get, and may have ended up just getting the wrong thing. And there's nothing quite as brutal as like buying something for somebody and then they have to like ship it back and exchange it and all that kind of stuff. So the lights and filters and all that, like equipment type things, I figure like a gift card would be better applied there, unless you did have something really cool that that you could do. Dan Squire says LEDs replacements for tubes can't be a bad idea. That actually is probably... That would probably be the safest bet if you were going to be trying to get some LED stuff. You get some of the retrofit bulbs that are the LED retrofit bulbs that go over to the light fixtures. They just swap. You just basically swap out bulbs. You get LEDs in there, and not. So that probably would be the best way to go, honestly. If you were going to go that route, I would have most likely been... I would have most likely... what's the word I'm looking for? I probably would have gone with a gift card and then an explanation of what it was for. I think that's the thing that I would say is I go like, here's a gift card for some new lights for your aquarium. I was trying to figure out what to get you. And that was my plan, but I didn't want to get the wrong thing, because then, so that's kind of one of those. I think that is what falls into the gift card land. But 54 Punchy with the super chat, I think I already mentioned that, but you know, and Magic 21 Mom with the super chat, $1 style. I don't know where that came from because I've never seen them in the chat. The Magic Mom. I've never seen the Magic Mom before. Is it a secret? Is it secret surprises? Secret surprises. All right. Well, it must be Thursday. Isn't it Thursday? Oh, yeah. So we're supposed to do the extended show on a Thursday, right? Which is going to be fine, because now we can go back to here and talk about that shrimp over there, right? Talk about art for a little while, because I think we worked through everything. I can't think of anything that I really missed out of the list of things. Yeah, I think I pretty much worked my whole way through it. All right. Let's see. Oh, been watching Aquarium Co-op podcast. Oh, okay, cool. Well, thank you. Thank you, Magic Mom. Definitely appreciate it. We definitely we want to get the word out on that podcast and try and send it out to some more people, because we're in the midst of doing a bunch of construction on the new studio, which I think both Corey and myself are super excited for, and I think is going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be a ton of fun. A ton of fun. A ton of fun. Right? I think it's going to be pretty fun. But thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. I'm trying to share out the old podcast there and try to get it out to a few more people. Carson Anderson's phone died, so he had to go after he was deleting messages and stuff, which he's good on some of them maybe not so much. Let's see. Donald Edwards saying, if I left the camera somewhere, I'd be worried I could have some weird stuff on there. Yeah, between Jimmy and Corey, though, I wouldn't imagine them to do anything that weird on my camera. But apparently, I took my battery with me, so took my battery with me, and so there ain't much doing there, because he doesn't have a battery that fits that. What's this picture? Oh, that's a cool picture. Whoops. Close that. Whoops. Okay. I'm accidentally clicking on the wrong tabs here on my computer. But this is the Thursday extended show, and so Barbara was asking Joel, how do you take your coffee? Just nosy here. I take mine with I take my sugar with coffee and cream, as the Beastie Boys would say. But this is the extended show for old Mr. Steven Skoglund down there in the chat with his wisdom teeth all crazy. Let me catch up here a little bit. Catch up to the chat. Just note the section of your order, free bottle of Easy Green. Oh, you got to get... Do you order a shirt? If you order a shirt, do you get a free bottle of Easy Green, or do you order Easy Green and then get a free shirt? That was the question. You know what? Either one sounds reasonable. Barbara says, nice. I also enjoy coffee and cream flavored sugar. I really, I've been lowering the amount of sugar I've been putting in my coffee. It was probably a little too high there for a while. And I'm down to one packet of my favorite cookies. I should add this to my Amazon wish list and see if I can't get some cookies. Somebody sends me cookies. If anybody sends me cookies, send me these cookies. These Biscoff. I don't know if I'm even saying it right. Lotus Biscoff. But these are my favorite cookies, and I've got one little package left. If you remember when I went to Chicago, I've been saving that package since I went to Chicago, whenever that was. Corey is asking, oh God, are those the ones that they give you as the complimentary snack? Yes, I love these cookies. These are my favorite cookies. You get them on the airplane. And if you guys didn't know, I got 5 of these on my return flight. Because flight attendant hooked me up. You know, I got to hook up. These are the airplane cookies. Yes, the flight attendant hooked me up. And so I had extra cookies in my pockets. And that's the last package that made it home. And it's been sitting there. And I really want to eat it, but I've been lowering my my sugar intake. I've got to make sure I get that down a little bit, mainly because of all the Christmas candy that's everywhere and pie. And Vicky's been making delicious pumpkin pies, and I fully endorse it. But I do need to cool it out on a little bit of sugar, if you know what I'm saying. So either way, it's not the worst thing in the world. Jim Meeker says, woohoo, my BBA has turned red. There you go. He's been doing the Excel dosing, and it's now turned red. Now it's a food source. Keep dosing through that. It'll turn gray and fall off here shortly in the next day or two. Bentley Pascal loves these cookies. These cookies are delicious, man. I love them. If Bentley, if you have any at your house or anything, let me know. I'll come get them. There's a huge pack of them on Amazon. 384 cookies for $62. Trader Joe's has similar with the cookie spread. Can't think of the name right now. Gene says Bob Steenfont has never had pie. I think he eats like extra meat. I think he eats extra meat instead of pie. Because when we were in Chicago, he had ribs instead of dessert, which is weird. But that's how he rolls, I guess. Just extra meat. It's like meatitarian, I guess. 8 free bottles of wine on my last flight. Pays to be polite to the hostess. Always pays to be polite to the people taking care of you on an airplane. There's no escaping the airplane. It's not like a bad restaurant. You can't just walk out the door, you know what I mean? So always pays to be polite on the plane for sure. Jim says, yeah, that's more like a week's supply. Yeah, you're probably right. I'd probably be pounding them down like a crazy person and not being able to sleep because I'll be all wired on the sugar and stuff. And then Vicky would stab me probably, keeping her up all night. Excuse me. But it is 5:10 p.m. or almost. Yeah, it's 5:10. There we go. 5:10 p.m. And we're coming up on the end of the show. I want to say a special thank you to Steven Skoglund for the extra long Thursday edition. We only had the 2 quick super chats from today, but we do have some wonderful additions to our patronizing out there on the old patronizing page in the form of Susan for SLC Aquatics, Montressor is back, the Fish Nerd is back, and Raymond Bardine. First time I've seen Raymond Bardine, I think. But good news is afoot. That puts us up to loading 155 Patreons. I don't know if we're gonna make 200 by the end of the year. I have hopes to make 200 by the end of the year. We'll see. Hopefully we get there. Hope so. But thank you very much for the super chats. Thank you very much for the patronization. I guess we only need just a few more people to get to 200. We just need a few more of the like $1 ones. Oh yeah. Hashtag 200 by the end of the year. Yep. All right. Hopefully everybody has a fantastic night out there. Don't go too crazy. If you are still in search for some fish tankery live streaming, head over to Bob Steenfat's channel because he is normally live on Thursdays. I'm not sure if he's actually live or not, but typically that's where would be the next in line Fish Fam show. So I would head over there if you still have a powerful lust to, say hi to some of the fish YouTubers in the Fish Fam, right? And tell them I sent you. Tell them Corvus sent you. And thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thanks for making it a great stream. Don't go crazy shooting off fireworks in the middle of the night. Prepare your ears for the Everybody see that button around here?